What's up, guys? It's Parnellyx, and I'm going to be showing you guys how to play the mid lane Warwick this game versus an assassin like Qiyana. Now, I posted a builds and item setup guide just the other day, or like a week ago, and some of the comments, rightfully so, stated that I have not been posting enough. I don't have enough gameplay footage to really showcase everything that I'm talking about. I'm talking about all these builds. I'm talking about how I'm good at Warwick and everything like that. But there's not enough YouTube videos of me showcasing my skill and showing you guys how to actually play, especially in the mid lane. So that needs to change. And like when you look at other one tricks, say Solar Baka, for example, I can look them up on YouTube. Gangplank for Solar Baka versus Camille matchup, and I will find a video, maybe 2 or 3 videos of him playing versus Camille. You won't find that very easily on my channel, and it's pretty easy to post these gameplay commentary videos or just stream highlights in general. So I need to post more, and that is going to be the plan moving forward alongside some other videos. So I'm going to be trying to really give you guys good content to like watch, so that you can a lot of people see me. I'm the Warwick player. When you want to find educational content how to play Warwick, you should be able to go to me, and that's going to change in the next couple of months. I'm going to definitely try to post plenty of gameplay footage to and move towards the educational route with some maybe some entertainment and sprinkled in between as well. Okay, so anyways, we're in the Qiyana matchup in the mid lane. This is you can see the setup that I'm rolling with. We're going the barrier tech. Now, I will say into Qiyana, it's a little bit of a extra advantage for me that I actually play a lot of Qiyana. I know I don't really talk about it much on YouTube, but in the past year, I've played a ton of Qiyana. I've played like 1,000 games of Qiyana. Maybe not that much, but maybe close to 1,000 games over the past year. Like, I've been spamming so much Qiyana last year. I know exactly how she wants to play and what her strengths and weaknesses in the lane are. So I do have that advantage. Generally speaking, Warwick is good in assassins anyways, so it doesn't matter. But there is, like, I guess, an extra advantage in this matchup I have because I know what Qiyana does, what she looks for, and everything like that. So to kind of summarize this, like these early levels against melee champions, or really any champion you just beat level 1. You don't want to hard push the wave. You want to last hits, but you want to look to poke and harass. And you want to try to zone her off minions, so that anytime she walks up to a minion to harass, or sorry, to farm, I'm able to Q her in response. If she gets a minion, I Q her. That's how you handle that. That's how you play Warwick when you have a lead. And against certain matchups like Assassin or just really any melee in the mid lane, you're going to have a lead level 1 just naturally by default. So you don't want to just hard shove the wave into the turret, because that allows them to safely farm. You don't want them to safely farm. You want to be able to poke them and yeah, just bully them, basically. You want to bully when you can. I'm letting this wave kind of freeze up. You can see it. You can see the Elise was bot side. I know she's not here now though, and I also have my Zed. She tries to flash, but my Q buffers, and I know that, so that's why I'm spamming Q when she's invisible. I'm spamming Q where I think she is, so that I can immediately react when she pops out. That way she can't flash away like that. I'd obviously be able to flash follow, or I'd be able to flash, and to follow up and then Q her, but saving my flash is great there. So right there, I tried to freeze because I knew she didn't have much kill pressure on me. I know that Qiyana likes to go for kills at that point, but I know that I can actually bait her in. So I'm holding the freeze, and that does one of 2 things. If I holding the freeze, and I'm doing it again here as well. So holding the freeze is one of 2 things. It either or I guess one of 3 things. First of all, it could cause Elise to come towards me and try to break the freeze. So I can draw jungle attention, waste the jungler's time. And you have to learn how to play around jungle pressure. That's the most important part about Warwick mid. That's really hard. That's the hard part of Warwick mid. Playing around, avoiding ganks and surviving. But drawing pressure is great if you can survive. So if I was able to draw Elise, that would be good. Second of all, I can bait her in like I did. Or third of all, I could just hold a freeze and deny her farm. And again, I'm in a position where I can bully her, and allow her to overextend and potentially get ganked. What ended up happening is I baited her in and got a kill, which is that's the best thing to happen. It isn't always going to happen, but it is the best thing. We see we have really good. This Bard set up a good ward, which is just perfect for me. Notice how I see Elise on the bot side of the map, so I'm hovering around the top side of the lane. This is a standard mid lane, like I guess I don't know what mechanic or fundamental. You want to lean towards the opposite side of where you think the jungler is, or even where your vision is. So even if I didn't know where Elise was, if I have wards on the bot side, I'd probably want to actually hover towards the bot side, because I'd have ward coverage, so that I know that so it shows up in the ward, then I know to run away. But you want to just make sure that you're as far away from the gank path, potential gank path, as possible. That's basically what you want here. But yeah, anyways, we got an interesting situation has happened. I just shove in the wave. I'm looking to rotate top lane for this dive, but I know Zed's got it, so we just reset, and then we're going to recall, grab Tiamat, and double Ruby Crystal. When I'm playing Warwick mid, I used to only get Tiamat, and very recently I realized rushing Tiamat's not always good. The reason why is because ever since season 11, Tiamat sucks as an item. So it used to be great, and like in season 10, it was awesome to rush no matter what. But if you have a lead, you can rush Tiamat, but if you don't have a lead, then it might be best to go for just like if you're behind and the enemy like mid jungle can kill you, and you're getting ganked a ton, then you might want to just rush the health components first. That way you're tanky and you're able to just basically survive mid lane before getting to your items. The real power spike you're looking for in the mid lane is going to be Titanic Hydra. Titanic Hydra is gold for you. Once you have Titanic, that's when you're like a strong champion. But until that point, it really depends on the matchup. A lot of times you can just farm. Sometimes you can bully like assassins. Sometimes you just kind of are behind. But Warwick, again, I've mentioned this many times, Warwick scales these days, so it's not the end of the world. It's just, yeah. You're not like a pure early game champion anymore like you used to be. Well, I shove in the wave because she was, of course, roaming, and right there I queued again I predicted where she would show up from the stealth so that I could get my Q off immediately. And now I'm just trying to zone. Again, I'm hovering towards my vision. I know Elise can't just, I mean, she could just like flash over raptors or something, but I'd be able to get away anyways. So I'm just hovering towards my vision, so if Elise ganks me from the top side of the map, or the top bush, then I would be able to get away pretty cleanly. I'm gonna Q her under the turret. If you are ahead on Warwick, or even, or really most of the time on Warwick, it kind of depends on the matchup, but generally speaking, it's a general rule of thumb for Warwick. Even trades are winning trades. Even trades are winning trades. Oh, I actually forgot about this. That was a little bit aggro by me, but that was a little risky. Honestly, we had to burst, or else I could have gotten ulted on the turret, but I just went for it. We're gonna go ahead and get the plates here. But yeah, even trades are winning trades, and the reason why I say that is because, and it's okay to Q someone if you're going to take a turret shot, is because you heal. You sustain so much that if you deal damage to them, it's permanent, whereas your damage dealt to you is more temporary. And that's a general rule of thumb. I'm going to reset around this wall. I have enough gold for my Titanic Hydra, which, like I said, is a really good power spike. And you see my CS, the CS gap in the mid lane here. The CS gap in the mid lane is insane. It's 81 to 41. I'm literally double her CS. I'm double her CS as Warwick mid lane. And that's also with dealing with some jungle hovers. Now, I didn't really get ganked very hard. That's just because of good vision. And part of that is luck. Maybe Elise could have found better gank angles. You know, I had Bard to ward for me a couple times, but part of it is just awareness and being able to set up the vision properly. And also hovering the right side of the lane. There's knowing when I'm gankable, when I'm killable, and knowing when I'm not. That is really, really key. That is so important. That's why I say, I think Warwick top lane's pretty easy overall. It's like the easiest role to learn as Warwick, I guess, to start off with. Mid lane work is the hardest, just because of that factor here. Now I'm rotating to this fight. I know Elise is definitely going to be recalling here. I saw it has a blood trail, so I flashed at the wall to make sure she can't get away. And we're going to continue to chase down for this. I think it was an Alistar actually. So I have no idea how low he is. I didn't even know. Well, yeah, I knew it was Alistar, but I didn't know how low he was. It's half health. I see that. And then he pops ultimate. I'm like, how did he get out of this fight without ulting? I'm trying to kind of bait him in, but it's a little greed, and his ult lasts too long for me to like go in. So I'm just gonna go ahead and reset. I could rotate towards mid lane, but there's the threat of Qiyana just bursting me. There's no need to risk it. No need. I do try to actually. We're looking to just kill their bot lane as they are rotating back to the turret here. But and I'm here just kind of just in case if like Alistar showed up in time, but I probably should have just recalled, honestly, just because they didn't need me. It's a good play to look for. That is the most OP game. If you're playing like as a jungler, really anyone, but especially as a jungler, man. If you kill like top lane or bot lane or whatever, and then you do that gank while they're between their tier 1 and tier 2, it's so broken. It's so broken if you can get away with it. But I didn't need to be able to. I didn't need to do that. This player here is lag. We'll chalk it up as lag. Brain lag, I think is what we'll call it. That was extremely necessary. That was a throw. There is no point to that. I could have ulted and I could have killed the Qiyana, but there's a higher risk for a low reward. And yeah, I gave away a shutdown and everything. Now the good news, the good part of it, the good part out of that is the fact that I counter Qiyana really hard, so even in team fights, so even if she's like the main threat of the team, I can handle it. Doesn't mean that I want to kill her or that I want to feed her. I don't want to feed her. I don't want to feed Qiyana regardless. But it's not the end of the world. So I use my blood trail to get back in the lane. I'm also going to use it to kind of just poke this Qiyana down. You see my damage here. I'm able to just... The blood trail helps me there, for sure. Sometimes you get blood trails to allow you to get a little extra cheese. I see they're making a play top lane, but Yoni is just really low HP. So we go for the roam. This is something I've been doing a lot more in Warwick mid, is doing more roaming. I'm going for the Alistar first because I know I can avoid the CC with my Q. And then I can chase down the Yoni later. So I'm actually hitting these minions. I was trying to get an angle to cleave him with the Titanic. I hit him once with the Titanic. I'm gonna wait for the wave. I'm gonna wait for the wave here. Bard did, but there's no need to rush this dive. And then I'm gonna stay top. I'm gonna stay top here because I'm already on the turret. I'm getting plates, and I can ping Gragas. This doesn't always. This is more natural in high elo, but in low elo you can probably tell your teammates to do this too. Although sometimes they might not listen. Just ping your your Gragas to go mid or cover mid or whatever. Just do that. You're fine. If Qiyana comes, I ult just to heal, just to make sure she can't one-shot me. I am setting up a kill. See my Titanic procs? It's dealing so much damage to her. Yeah, I'd be able to actually poke. Like Warwick, when you have Titanic Hydra, you have poke. You have really strong poke. This sets up a dive. My grass was up. I know I can just one-shot. And I'm trying to avoid, like, you know, getting collapsed from at least here, but I read her wrong. I assumed she'd be bot side. She was top, or on the top side, so kind of unlucky. If I went through the bottom of the turrets, if I just left that way, I probably would have been fine. But it's okay. We get our Aegis. That is my priority most of the time for itemization. I mean, really, honestly, all of the Sunfire components kind of suck. I'm not gonna lie, they all suck. So it's like, which one's less bad? I think I would rather buy Aegis straight up than Bombies straight up. So that's generally my priority. Generally, that is my priority. So, but once we have Sunfire, we are going to be chilling this game. I mean, we're already chilling. So this is a great spot for Warwick. Because really, what makes Warwick kind of suck is like building into Titanic sucks, and building into Sunfire sucks. That is the big weakness of Warwick right now. Once you actually get those items, it's all pretty good. as long as you're not like super far behind. If you're behind, then it is a problem still because you're weak and you can't deal. You're building DPS items when you're gonna get one shot in fights, right? So it's not always ideal. Look at this Gragas though. This Gragas is going to the Kim tank and he's just really beefy and dealing lots of damage. I think is kind of insane. Been trying to run it actually more in Warwick, but I think it just got nerfed. So I mean, I'll have to take a look at that. So we're trying to set up for this dragon. I know I can just go over here and take this turret, and I'm just trying to outplay this Yone a little bit. I know that he has some teammates nearby, so I'm trying to kite it out. I could just fight him straight up, but because he has teammates nearby, I have to kite. I'm making sure to Q his Q. And I'm just gonna ult just to kill him. Get rid of this man. Get a nice Q there. Get a double fear. That was a really beautiful fight by me. I mean, it wasn't like I guess the hardest thing in the world, but I was overall pretty good. My Qs on the Yone were really good. I was kiting him well. Got a really insane fear, and we were able to just smash them right there. We're gonna shove out mid here. I think I'm gonna shove, and I'm probably gonna look for the top camps. I know Elise kind of just spawns, but I don't think they'll be here in time, and I'm safe regardless. I can just run away if they show up. So use my sweeper, and I am gonna take Gromp. Now I will mention with Warwick mid, you don't have to take sweeper at any point. And honestly, this is very new. I just started taking sweeper in Warwick mid like a couple weeks ago, and the reason why I'm taking sweeper is because yellow trinkets on such a long cooldown sometimes. Like if I just use my yellow trinket and it's on like a 3-minute cooldown when I'm recalled, it's like, would I rather wait 3 minutes for my yellow trinket to come back up, or would I rather just have red trinket available in a minute and then I could potentially use it? Because the thing is, if you don't find a good opportunity to use the red trinkets, then you can just swap back to yellow trinket and the cooldown doesn't change. There's no penalty to swapping between trinkets. The penalty only applies. There's only a cooldown if you actually use them. So that's why. And it's I know how to use red trinket in the mid lane. I'll talk about it more at some point, but I just played this Yone right here. I absolutely just played this man. Q follow his stuff. Q follow his flash. And this man's just kind of done for. Yeah, I'll talk more about, you know, like the red trinket usage in general at some points, but I learned how to use red trinkets really well off of learning Kiana. Assassins love red trinkets. Warwick isn't like a huge red trinket user, but I do know how to use it effectively to clear out vision around the river area, so I do swap to it sometimes, but it's not necessary to swap to red trinket. So if you're trying to learn Warwick mid and you don't know how to use red trinket well, or you don't know when to buy it, just don't buy it. Just go yellow trinket and you'll be fine. So I'm just going to go ahead and kill this turret. We just killed them all, so I'm going to be going for the turrets, pushing out the mid wave. I could have went bot, but there was a wave mid. So it was it allowed me to actually kill the turrets as opposed to just, you know, getting a demolished proc off bot lane and calling it a day. My team is kind of grouping bots. We're at a stage where we're obviously smashing them, but I'm going to try hard and go for the objective. Sunfire, by the way, in general is insane versus objectives. When you're it just it stacks the ramp up damage from Sunfire works against objectives. So if you're an objective based player, Sunfire is kind of the way to go, I would say. Just because it's so great. Like if the enemies, like, you know, fight you or try to contest the objective, you'll have the Sunfire stacked from the beginning, which is really strong and gives you really good damage with objectives and everything. It's great. For that matter of fact. We're gonna be going into Asterix next item. And I'm just kind of roaming down here. Asterix is just kind of a good, like, if you don't know what to build or nothing really stands out, really OP, you go Asterix. Look at me being a team player here, by the way. I could have not feared the Jinx and not slowed her for the Jinr, but I did. I E'd to fear to keep her in range of the Jinr. Like a true gentleman. Now we're just going to shove. Take this tier 2 turret. Tier 2 turrets are really OP to take in the side lane because they give you so much gold. 600 gold total. It gets split between everyone. So you see I got 275 plus 50, but really, really nice to always take those. But I have Herald, and I placed my pink ward just because I needed an item slot. I didn't want to sell my Doran shield. And I know we could just group Baron, and then I can Herald, and we just win the game. And also, they're at least sold our solar items. So yeah, if you can't tell, we win the game. That's going to happen here. But pretty clean game for me overall, I will say. Strong laning phase, got some really good advantage. Maybe not my best laning phase, but pretty strong. I did throw a little bit in the mid game. But you can see versus these melee champions, what you want to do is you don't just... There's like a... Basically, I pay attention to my own... I'm making sure that I'm securing every last hit that I can. That is a goal. I want to secure most last hits. But then I'm also paying attention to my own minions' health to see when they can walk for a last hit. And that applies to any champion, but especially melee champions. It's really easy. Where if they walk up, you know, if Kiana wants to farm like the, you know, melee minion, most of the time she's gonna have to walk up and auto attack it. She can Q it, but she kind of has mana problems, so that's a good thing anyways. So if I Q her every time she last hits a minion, then that just makes the lane impossible. So that's basically what you want to do versus melee champions that you beat. You beat most melee champions. You stop most melee champions actually. So, and then you just have to play around jungle pressure, and you need to just know when you can die. Knowing your limits is really crucial. That comes with time. I can't really tell you, you know, how to calculate your limits, but that's the truth of the matter. But this game's going to come to a close, and that is Warwick mid versus Kiana. There's going to be more gameplay coming up, fellas, of me playing Warwick mid. And I don't know if you guys can hear, but my dog's playing in the background, so I'll tend to her right now. Peace out, guys. Have a good one, and I'll see you in a bit.